I talk about drawing like Peter Han, Rembert Montalд, and Dong Ho Kim all the time, but what do I know? I'm just a dude. It's about time we heard from the actual artists themselves. So I took a voyage across America to ask these pros one question. How should we study to have skills like you? This is what they had to say.
Animation. Study animation. I think animation is the best thing you can study because you learn how to tell a story with simple tools and you have to simplify shapes and understand it from every angle. Plus animation can help you guide poses. So if you draw a character running, then you know a run cycle and stuff. I would also recommend people to do walk and run cycles. Yeah.
Use lots of references. I'd say always use references. If there's something that you don't know how to draw, something that you're not fully confident in, find a reference and study from that reference.
There's so many things I could say because that could be an hour conversation, honestly. So I can try to keep it short. Really, it's about stimulating and activating a drive and a hunger. This can be innate, and some people will feel like they don't have that, but it can be sparked. The spark of that hunger and drive can be activated by being where you are now, which is present here in person. So this day and age, of course, through social media, through many different resources like YouTube videos, books, of course, and many different things out there from inspirations of any type you can look at. You feel like you don't necessarily have to step out of your room. And you have all this stuff at the end of your fingertips. And it will actually make you better. You can spend years and years doing that and look at that stuff and practice for years on end, but there's a cap to it. There's only so much you can receive from that. And the only way to break past those plateaus is to be able to come together and collaborate with others. So this drive and hunger is stimulated and sparked by people. That's what you need. This is where you're gonna get to those sort of skills. And that's why I'm here next to Dong Ho Kim, Stonehouse, and who, Kim Jung-gi should have been here. And that's me jumping into these pools with these massive sharks. I gotta sink or swim and make it too. So I gotta learn, right? So that drives that hunger. And so it's scary, it never goes away. That fear is always there, but then you begin to embrace it. You know how to work with it. And it drives you past those points where you hit that wall and you figure out how to adapt and work your way around it. So it's a drive and the hunger.
어디든 똑같습니다. 인체 해부와 공부와 투시 원근법, 퍼스펙티브 공부를 꾸준히 계속 매일매일 안 쉬고 해야 합니다.
There's a couple of things. It's not only technical related, I would say. Obviously, I have this sort of very construction type of learning. I wouldn't say like I have a very outspoken style or anything that you need to copy. It's more about I'm a true designer. So I pride myself on the fact that I can draw anything from imagination. And in order to do that, you want to learn construction. You want to learn how to manipulate form and space. You want to be intuitive with perspective. You want to learn design skills. And not only design skills in the sense that you make cool shapes, but also design skills in the sense that you simplify the design thinking, so the problem-solving thinking. You simplify how you're going to create a character and you simplify it to its essence so that you can make up cooler solutions for problems. I think one of the mistakes beginners often make, and I made a video about this, is like when they want to design a character, they pull off reference from everywhere and they mix and mingle and it becomes like this mess of different things. And I think design should be simple in its solution because then it can shine really well. Those are the things that I think are fundamental to if you want to get to what I consider my skill. But in terms of the rate at which you can get there is purely mindset. That is something I see a lot of beginners mostly struggle with. And it's one of the reasons I started building more on YouTube is to change people's mindset and perception on what it actually takes to get good. And that's something that Antonio has fleshed out in detail with his learning platform and the sponsor of this video, ArtWad. Built from the ground up with the philosophy he's just outlined, ArtWad will teach you how to draw from your imagination using beginner-friendly approaches and fundamentally focused exercises. Courses are structured logically with roadmaps that cover everything from basic drawing to advanced anatomy. And every lesson has video demos, examples, and you can even draw in the app itself.
Now, I've recently been making my way through the drapery course, which has been made a lot easier using Antonio's principles. But you can also practice what you learned with random puzzles or assignments that range anywhere from gesture drawing to painting trees. And all that is just scraping the surface. I haven't even mentioned the dozens of classes on fundamentals for topics that are hard to learn, like spatial awareness and form wrapping, or even the hours of lectures from amazing artists like Tyler Edlin and Evan Amundsen. If you're serious about taking your art to the next level, then ArtWod's got you covered because they're offering 30% off their annual plan with my link in the description below. Happy learning, and maybe I'll be interviewing you at Lightbox one day.
That's a great question. If you want to have my skill set, gosh, I don't know. You got to draw a lot, like a lot. I think that people have an idea of how much they should be drawing, but you got to draw even more than that. And that doesn't mean you do like 10 or like 20 hours a day. You know, if I were to recommend, I would say draw for 36 hours a day. That's the only way to make sure you're actually gonna, but yeah, exactly. No, but seriously, it's not about the like long time or long hours. It's really like, do as many drawings as you can, like kind of all the time. And then you sort of start to realize things, and things will click in that you thought you knew, but you didn't know until you actually were in the zone doing it. So I would say, honestly, for me, just draw as much as you possibly can, and also follow your interests. Like, you have to follow your interests. If you don't follow your interests, you're not gonna land where you actually wanna land. So that's what I would say about that. One of the best things you can do is look at other careers that are really hard, like going into like law, or being a professional athlete, or being like a top developer at a company. Look at how hard those people work and apply that level of intensity and dedication to what you do with art, right? It's not really about talent, it's all about tenacity. It's true.
I think considering all of the fundamentals to be equally as important and making sure that you really study all of them will help you really push your skill set to its potential. Stuff like shape design, line economy, gesture, values, color, stuff like that. Nothing concept related like anatomy. Anatomy, you have to use the fundamentals and apply it to that concept of anatomy. So like construction, shape design, you're designing the shape of the muscles. You're not replicating completely from a reference if you're drawing from your imagination. So yeah, if you learn all the fundamentals, it's really gonna help you. The fundamentals will build on each other as you learn them. It's like you're giving yourself all the pieces for the puzzle.
They got to get really excited about cars and vehicles. Just the enthusiasm for machines would really take you very far, because artists are very good at figuring out how things look, how things work. But you got to be excited about drawing machines, and then once you have that, your drawing is going to come out a lot better.
I would recommend just getting a book on whichever fundamental you want to learn, like anatomy, perspective, color. Take that book, and what I did was copy every drawing so that your hand kind of gets used to the muscle memory. And at least that's what worked for me. That's how my brain kind of soaked up all the information. A lot of repetition on the fundamentals so that it kind of becomes second nature to you. You don't have to think about it as much. And when you're learning the fundamentals, it's not enough to just copy those drawings. Then you have to apply them to something. So what I would do is, for example, learn the anatomy of the arm muscles, for example. And then I would get some figure drawing photos up. I would start drawing them and then focus on mainly the arms or whatever thing that I've learned that day. And then I would do that for maybe 1 year until it literally just became second nature and I didn't have to think about it as much. I don't have to stop and get frustrated because I don't know how to draw the arm from a specific angle. Yeah, that would be the approach that I would suggest. If you draw it 1,000 times, essentially it's gonna stick in your head. That's what they do, and I think in Russian academical drawing, they give them this skull and then they say, well, draw it 1,000 times from like a different angle, to the point where it just becomes so engraved.
Anime trading arc version of.
Yeah, it's the trading arc. Yeah, it's
that tree 4,000 times.
It's that Dragon Ball episode where he goes in the bubble and then just trains for like 1,000 years.
Get a short list of your favorite artists all right, then see if you can understand see if you can understand how they do what they're doing, and see if you can break it down the best that you can. Because I don't think the goal is to be or like have the style that I have necessarily, although you could do that. It's more so picking the styles of all the other artists that you enjoy, mashing them together, and then to kind of create your own style and sort of pick and choose bits and pieces from the artists that you admire. I think that's the way to do it at a high level, if that makes sense.
If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe, because I low-key lied to you when I said I only asked them one question. In fact, I asked them 3, and the next videos are coming out, and you don't want to miss them because they're dropping heaps, jewels of wisdom, and I wouldn't want you to miss it because I learned a lot from that. And actually, I'll make you a deal. If you subscribe, then I'll offer my book for free to you. That's 76 pages of exercise goodness that you can get. I lied again. It's free anyway. You can get it if you want in the link in the description. But while you're down there, check out the ArtWad 30% off deal and get learning today. Get your forms right. Get better drawings, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, ArtWad. Thank you. And thanks all the pros that taught so much. I'm yapping. I think if you watched this video, then you'll probably like these videos. See you in the next one. Bye.